So this is the first podcast that me and May have ever done. We speak a fair bit on Zoom. May is a client of mine, and we talk about everything and everything when it comes to anything fitness related or just things in life that can be related to what we do. So we thought we'd jump on here and just pretty much just hash out some ideas and some thought process about the fitness industry, getting into the fitness industry, and potentially like what young coaches would really benefit from. So May, do you want to sort of talk about how you got into the industry?
Yes. My name is Maya, mentored by Maya. I'm a female lifestyle coach. I was more of a transformation coach. It's a bit funny, like, you know, when people ask you, like, oh, how did you get into the industry? Like, I feel like I personally just fell into it.
Yeah.
I did uni for a little bit, didn't really like that. Did sales for a little bit, didn't really like that. And then I found fitness was like a little bit of an escapism. But like I always say, like the reason you start in the beginning isn't always the reason why you continue. And I'd say personally, my whole fitness journey has been sort of, you know, wanting to work with people. That's always been my thing, like working closely one-to-one with men or women when it comes to fitness, nutrition, or just helping them with the mindset side of things. So yeah, like I can't really say that there was this big like awakening into like my fitness journey. It was like, oh, okay, I actually kind of like working with people in this way. You've never actually taught me how you got into it, to be fair.
All right, so like I done a degree, literally just up the road there, in design engineering, and then just how can I put it? Started realising third year to pay for this shit, so I actually decided to work, and ended up with the 2-1. But it was just not, how can I put it? Just not what I wanted. Then they like I loved the gym. I was always sporty, but I had probably like you could argue like a bad relationship with the gym in regards like I went 7 days a week, trained 3 hours every single day. I just didn't have a clue what I was doing. I just really enjoyed it. And then my granddad was a little bit worried about me and got me a PT, and then that PT ended up being my first manager. I worked for a company down the road in Brunswick called Elite Fitness Consultants at the time. I think it's called Unit 7 now. And like I was just saying before, like I was very fortunate how I come into this industry. Like I worked with so many different people. I got taught anatomy and movement from such a young age, which is something that potentially you don't really get exposed to now, because a lot of people either go straight in the online world or the level 3 course is shit in it. Let's be honest. So like, level 3 course is awful, so you don't really get taught much of that in that. But I done my level 3 and I got exposed to this education right from the start. Like I wasn't allowed to do things unless I knew the ins and outs of it. So it's like, that's probably where my passion for exercise mechanics and all that comes from, is probably from the start of that. And then literally just sort of went through the company, worked my way up, started working with millionaires, to people who were nurses, to teachers, to pretty much anyone and everyone comes to the company. So like the exposure I got to different people was unbelievable. And it's like, you learn how to talk to different people then. So that's how I got into it essentially. Went to the gym too much, got a PT. PT ended up being my manager. And then the rest is history in regards to like worked for that company, went to another company called Abs, managed the Liverpool store, Abs, which was in Tyburn Street. I think it's in Castle Street now. Managed that. Then went solely by myself, went solely employed. And then went online, eventually to what we all do. And then got lucky in lockdown in regards to online coaches need to learn how to sort of program home programming. And because I was the mechanics guy kind of thing, I got business from it. And it was a very fortunate thing because I was mentoring on the OT at the time. It's like very fortunate and sort of got my exposure to coaching coaches, and then that's sort of where I am right now.
That's so funny because I actually remember coming to you around lockdown, I think it was, because I had the same issues. But you're so right, you know, I feel like once you have that personal training qualification, I think people think you know everything. But the truth is, you're coming out of that area knowing nothing.
No, fuck all.
Like mechanics was not something that was ever spoken about really on my course. And I'd say my course was fairly good because it was intensive for like 4 to 5 weeks.
Yeah.
But it's that lack of knowledge, and you know, the only way you can actually learn is through other coaches. So that was specifically why I came to you.
Yeah.
Because everyone was like, oh, you need to go to Ali.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, it is funny, isn't it? Like what people think, as you said, like you leave that level 3, it's like fucking qualified. Now I know how to get people in shape. It's like, you know nothing. Because like you might understand the fundamentals in regards to get people to eat better, get people to train more regular, but you're actually dealing with people. You're not dealing with robots. And I think this is the hard thing that people need to get into their head is, look, at the end of the day, you need to do certain things to get results. Like you need to be consistent. You need to turn up to the gym. You need to make sure you're getting stronger, fitter, whatever it may be. But how you approach that from person A to person B is completely different, depending on their job, depending on their mindset towards things, past history, were they an athlete when they were younger, have they never done any kind of physical activity? It's like all these things play a role. Don't get taught this in your level 3.
No.
Don't get taught how to speak to people in level 3.
You didn't even get taught about calories.
No, you don't. No, you get told to eat well plates or something like that.
Yeah.
If it's still the same as when I done it. But yeah.
Do you know, I've always wondered, because you obviously, your niche is coaches,
At the
right?
moment it is, yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly coaches. Like, I am a lot more like general population.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find there's actually any differences between coaching coaches and coaching Gen Pop when it comes to like the mental side of things? Because me personally, I know coaches can be even worse critics of themselves because they know more.
It's a good question. So I think when you're working with coaches, it's trying to, one, because obviously like when it comes to like social media and all that, a lot of coaches sort of lack the belief to speak their mind. And like I think people are so paranoid about being called out on Instagram, and because like there's some fucking weapons, aren't there, on Instagram, right? There's like if you put something on, right, and then some dickhead will comment on it. By the way, we're swearing. Just thought I'd let you know.
Get them all out.
Yeah,
Fuck
it's
shit,
like
fuck.
it's just like. So I've got a client called Christian. Won't mind me saying this. It's like he puts something on Instagram, and it's like, or Facebook it was, and Facebook's notorious for it, isn't it? And just people just bombard them with
Angry
comments.
Baz.
It was probably like say 10% were negative, but 90% were really positive. But you obviously focus on the 10%. And he was messaging on, is this okay to say? It's like, yeah. It's like they just don't understand the context and what you're saying it from.
Mm.
And like that's where it plays a massive role. And I think that's the issue where with coaches nowadays, they're so afraid to say anything. But what they've got to realise is that one post that you do could help one person.
Yeah.
And that's all it's supposed to do, is just help that one person. It doesn't matter if it's not correct in regards to like the perfect terminology. So someone else said something in regards to like isolating the shoulder and the shoulder press. Like you can't really isolate the shoulder and the shoulder press because it's a compound movement, and there's going to be other things that are going to play a role. But it's like, it doesn't really matter. Look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like everyone's getting so hung up on these nuances. It's like, why'd you care?
Yeah.
It's like, as long as people aren't hating themselves. But in regards to like your question, in regards to like, is it different? Like science is science. Like deficit, surplus, train hard, make progression. But you deal with a lot of different probably obstacles,
Yeah.
especially like how ruthless it is now. Like people think online coaching is easy. It's non-stop job. It's very, very hard. It's like have to find time for yourself, because we've had this. I had check-ins this morning. I'm training of an evening. Don't like training of an evening.
Yeah.
But it's like some kind. If I had, say for example, if I had to do a Zoom tonight, training might not have occurred today.
Yeah.
And like for me not to train, that's a bad thing. Like I don't miss that. But it's hard to manage your time, and it's hard to manage clients' times, which are obviously my coaches. Because sometimes when people work 9 to 5, it's a little bit easier to schedule things in. But because it's a 24/7 job, as you're very, very well aware, it's sometimes hard to prioritize yourself, and that's why what coaches don't do.
Yeah, like I think comparing like when I became an online coach and like my routine, problem is when you're like a business owner, or you know, you manage your own things, you don't know when to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So training actually got harder for me. Time in the gym actually had to be shorter because I knew that I was like trying to dictate my time, but all the things, like I felt like I was a true client when I came to you, because I was so used to like, you know, helping others, advising others, listening to them, that when you're a coach getting coached by someone else who is a coach themselves, it's like you walk into it expecting to just be perfect. But it's not like that at all. But like what were you saying about like the social media side and posting things? I personally think that people forget like we're all different personalities. Like we could have the same point, but it could come across completely different. Do you know what I mean? And that's the one thing like I proper used to care about, you know, like social media and like what I would say. And now I genuinely could not care if someone disagrees with me. But I think that takes like some time.
Yeah, it takes time to start to understand who you are as an individual.
Mm.
Like I think like a lot of people get into this young now, aren't they? Like you are young, but it's like people are getting this from like the age of 18. It's like you don't know yourself at 18, and you're easily influenced by certain things, and someone could say something, and that could just terrify you for a long period of time. Whereas like, look, I'm 32, I couldn't give a fuck. It's like
I'm 23.
I couldn't care now. It's like it's one of these. It's like I like when people disagree with me. It's like let's have a talk, let's have a debate, because like I might learn something from you, from your perspective and your experiences in life about this topic that I've never experienced before. So like, but just people aren't as open minded like me and you. We fucking disagree all the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, but we respect each other enough to listen to each other's opinions and then take it on board. Because at the end of the day, like even though you're a client of mine, I still learn off you.
Yeah.
It's like, because you've been through different things than me. And that coaches need to understand that your clients are your greatest learning board. You can look in books, you can read anatomy until you're blue in the face, but practical application of working with individuals is by far the most important thing to get experience for that toolbox that you've got. Because, for example, you might come to me with a client, they've got type 2 diabetes and they've had these kind of tests done, and it's like, okay, cool. So I'm now going to help you with that. But I've never seen this marker before on this test be this screwed off. It's like then if a client comes to me and they've got the same thing, it's like, oh, I remember when I done this with Maya.
Yeah.
And this is what approach you done. And that's what I mean, like people are your greatest asset.
Yeah.
As opposed to, because too many people are fucking nerds, aren't they, as well? It's like, I like being a bit of a nerd, but it's like, you can only learn so much.
That's the thing though, even like when you learn through your clients, like one of my clients is a sleep coach.
Yeah.
And she's just awesome. Like if she sees this, she'll be made up. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But even like the other day when I did like my first public speaking, like a lot of that information is from her re-spieled and re-looked into. Do you know what I mean? And like centered towards how I present it. And you have to be around those type of environments. So I personally think if a coach is there, you know, on Instagram going, oh, this is wrong, or I feel insecure about what I'm posting, it's probably because they're not around the people that they should be. Like, I personally think it's such a lonely sort of journey when you're an online coach if you isolate yourself.
Yes, 100%.
Like, lockdown was just weird, but even coming out of lockdown, it was like, right, I actually need to be around people who I gel with because they're the ones who are going to help me see different things better or help me understand different points of view better. And when you don't have that, like you said, when you're younger, you're dead impressionable. You just pick up everything online. Like I honestly thought that I had to, when I first started off, become a bodybuilder. I thought that was the stepping stone. I was like, oh, right. So yeah, in like 2 years, I'll probably compete. Knowing that that was never me. Do you know what I mean? But that's because I wasn't around people with different perspectives. I was just looking online thinking, oh my God, like I have to follow suit what everyone else has done.
I think the competing one's a funny one because like everyone thinks they can just do it. And it's like, trust me, like, like last year was, well, this year, then the summer last year was horrendous. It's like, China won't mind me saying this, but it's like, it put our relationship really, really like on a fine rope. Like, my girlfriend's another level when it comes to this, but it's like, here to get that pro card, it was stressful. And I don't think a lot of people take that in consideration because everyone just thinks, as you said before, you have to compete. It's like, you don't have to compete. Like, competing, if you want to compete, right, you better fucking love it.
Where do you think that comes from? Just years and years
Being in shape.
Yeah.
Just like everyone feels like they need to look a certain way, but it's like, trust me, you don't need thick skin to like to show that you're in shape. It's like there's other ways to show that, and also the clientele that you're going to attract. Like if you look at general population, right? Like I love photo shoots. I love doing photo shoots. Done one with Lucy on the Sunday. Love it. You done one. What about 2 months ago now, wasn't it?
April.
Fuck, was that long ago? Was it?
Yeah.
Wow, maybe that's not longer than 2 months ago.
I haven't done one in a while.
Fucking hell, photos. Wow, time has flown. That prep has definitely fucked me up. But it's like, it's like, I love that. I love coaches, clients, whoever it may be, pushing the boundaries and like following a structured, rigid diet. But there's a difference in doing a photo shoot to stepping on stage. And again, I think it's that whole, you have to look a certain way kind of thing. And look, by the way, I'm a big believer in coaches should practice what they preach. 100%. If I'm telling a client to do something, you better make sure I'll be willing to do it. But at the same time, it's like for a goal that extreme, it's like ultra marathon. I'm never going to coach a person doing an ultra marathon. There's no chance you get me running 2 miles, mate. Never mind whatever the fuck they run. So it's like,
touching me toes.
Do you know what I mean? It's like that's not going to care. But it's the whole perception of the amount of people who think they need to compete or they need to do something very extreme to show some kind of authority. It's not. It's like just get results to the clients who want results, and the client's results is the most important one. It's like if a client comes to you and goes, I want to get into a size 8 dress and a size 14, for example, right? And you tick that box, job done. It's like, what can we do with you next? Can we improve your squat? Can we run 5K? Like there's always more that we can do, but that was the original goal. That's a sign of a good coach when you can get that client to the goal. It's not, can the coach get in good shape? Because you should be able to get in good shape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't get where it comes from. It's like, you've got to love it. Like you've got to love it.
I think it's just a standard. Like I've always said, you know, if you are in the personal training or coaching industry, deal with it like you're probably going to have to be in shape or look like you train or look like you're healthy because you are a direct reflection of your business. Do you know what I mean? If that's what you're claiming to do for people, then you have to be that way. But I felt like, you know, when I first came into it, it was just like a lot of the women who maybe had that body type that was centered a little bit more to, you know, bodybuilding and look like they could build a physique. I had people come up to me and be like, so you're going to compete?
Yeah.
Like, it was like a follow-up question. And me, maybe in the beginning, thought like, oh yeah, that's really something I'd like to do. But now if you ask me that same question, I'd just be like, nope. Because I know I have like an obsessive personality and I can be, as you know, a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
So it's not for me, but I can see why other people have a passion for it, and like respecting that in like different coaches is why you will only work with like specific clients. Like some of your clients are never going to work with me, and some of my clients will probably never work with you, and that's fine.
That's fine. I think that's a good point there in regards to, like we said before, people like people.
Yeah.
Like you can't please everyone. It's like, here's a great one, right? I had a consultation with this guy, and one of my best mates had a conversation with this guy. He signed up with my best mate.
Oh yeah, that's happened to me and Lucy so many
it's
times.
Like, fuck you. Do you know what I mean? But for me, with that client who went to one of my best mates, it's like Ben Shepherd, by the way, if you follow on Instagram. It's like, I know that client is going to a good coach, so I don't care. That's because, like, as I said, like you nailed it before. Like, lockdown highlighted a lot of things. You found out who your true friends were, and you found out who you were a little bit more because you spent a lot of time with yourself, and you find out like the people that you really enjoy spending time with. And it's like, when you come out of lockdown, you should be spending a lot of time with people that you enjoy spending time with. Like, I know a lot of people, myself included, who just fucked off loads of people.
Yeah.
It's like, you bring no value to my life, and like who you were when you were 23 to who you are when you were 28, 29. It's like, you're a completely different individual.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think lockdown was obviously a horrendous time and it's very, very isolating, but it did probably bring up a few things that people need to realise. Because we were just going through a rat race of life, weren't we? Until that just stopped everything. And it's like, sit back, reflect. Who do you generally enjoy spending time with? Like, I could chat to you for 6 hours easily, and we'll talk about flaming everything. But there's not many people you can do that with.
Do you think lockdown was like a positive for you?
Well, I was engaged, and then I'm not engaged, so was it a positive for me?
Kinda.
It's a good question. It highlighted. It was good for me from regards to business. The first one was.
Yeah.
Second one was okay. Third one was a nightmare. It was good for business. It made me spend time with myself because my ex was a dental nurse, so she was still working. So first time ever, I didn't go to the gym, obviously, because gyms weren't open, so I had to spend a lot of time with myself, very isolated. So I learned a lot about myself. It was an interesting time for me. I found out who my true friends were.
Yeah.
Like Lucy, like, I'll shout out Lucy Brabham all the time. Like, she come around to my house loads. Because I had like a little setup in my garden, like a little gym, and we used to train here at Scott Mealy. I had a few other people used to come around, and like we were all just chatting. We just used to chat shit. I made one of my best friends, Becky Dean. Like, we found each other in lockdown.
Yeah.
And like, she's one of my best friends now. So like, it brought a lot of people into my life, and a lot of people went away. So yeah, you could say it's positive.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
You know what? I actually haven't like reflected on it enough, but I'd say it wasn't positive nor negative. It was quite neutral for me because I think what it actually done is it spun me to go online. So like, as you said, like, oh, okay, business. I felt like I took an opportunity there. But like, on the other side, I don't think I allowed myself to like see past what was going on online too much, if that made sense. Like, I felt a bit like I was in a bit of like a pause. I think everyone felt like that. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, yeah.
But if anything, I think it was a blessing and a curse because I pushed myself business-wise, but mentally I probably took a step back from myself. You know, how you lent into yourself a little bit. I probably lent out a little bit more.
Why? Looking back on it now, why do you think?
Maybe because I was so like thrown into what I was doing, or like my relationship at the time, or, you know, like, when was the next lockdown date end?
Yes,
you know?
Yeah. That was
like,
hard, yeah.
when is it going to? So all I was really concerned about is when we can get back to life, when really I should have been a little bit more present. And that has been something, like, I find in general, when you like own a business of any sort, being present is quite hard because you're always trying to think of the things ahead, all the
I think
things.
you always have to though as well, though, don't you? No, I agree with you. Go on, keep talking, by the way.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
No, yeah. So yeah, lockdown was more of a experience for me, not good or bad, but I do wish that maybe back then I would have probably like educated myself on the mental side a little bit more, tapped into myself a little bit more, because I was in like a position that I didn't really enjoy for that time.
Yeah, I seen a therapist in lockdown.
Yeah.
It's like that's where I got taught like to tap into myself a little bit more.
Mm.
Yeah, interesting time. It made me realise what I really want as well. Like I really wanted my own gym, just in case anything like that ever happened again.
Yeah.
Like it was like I never I knew the gym meant a lot to me. I never realised how much the gym meant to me. If that makes sense. Like I didn't realise how much of an impact it played in my life, and it's not just from a health or trying to look aesthetically pleasing in a certain way. It's from a community point of view. It's like I didn't realise how many of my friends were at the gym.
Mm.
And like a gym session that probably took an hour and a half, probably was 3 hours. I was chatting for an hour and a half. Like probably chat half an hour before it, 45 minutes after it. With just like people there who are obviously into the same things. I didn't realise how much the gym meant to me. And then that's hopefully one of the future ventures are going to be in 2023 is to try and get my own little facility. It's like I don't want to be a big gym. I just want my own little facility with my own little community.
Yeah.
Have my own little few coaches who work there who've all got a passion for this job because I'm obsessed with coaching.
Yeah.
Like I think it's the most privileged job to have because like we tell people what to do with their whole life. We tell people how many hours to sleep, how many steps to do, how much water to drink, how much veg to eat. It's like we dictate people's lives, obviously for the better, but it's like we have such a powerful role to make life-changing decisions for people. It's like I've got a client with UC. It's like it's the heaviest they've ever been for such a long period of time. And it's like that means more than getting a fucking six-pack.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think that's where the joy of coaching comes into it.
Yeah.
Is like them little things. I'm sure you've had similar things where it's life-changing events as opposed to just aesthetic ones. Even though aesthetic ones are cool, like don't get me wrong, getting people in fucking ridiculous shape is awesome.
Yeah.
Because like they've obviously had to push past their comfort zones. But like life-changing, educating people that way is something that they can keep for good. Because you still can't stay peel for good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I get it. Like, I think the transformation is just the byproduct of all the great things that you've been doing in the background. Like, I think for me, I definitely was more just body transformation. And then obviously when I started my own business, I'm not going to say it's holistic because it's not, because I still do transformations. But the things, like I had a client who, you know, was diagnosed with PCOS when she came to me, didn't really understand it that much. Went through like training programs, we got her healthier, her numbers were going down, she was losing weight with no problem. She got told that she was going to be infertile, and then I did a shoot with her, and on that shoot, she didn't tell me she was pregnant.
Fuck off.
And I was like, what?
That's good.
Like, she told me 2 weeks after the shoot. So here's me cutting her down, thinking, oh yeah, Sam, this is just like a shoot, you know, we're going to enjoy it. It was great. But like that was like a light switch moment for me then, because I remember her turning around and like thanking me and saying like, I feel like you've been part of this. And for me, I'm just, you know, at this time, a 21-year-old girl who started a business a year ago, or I don't even, yeah, I just started my business at that time, like a month or two. And I'm thinking, how on earth do I get to work with these types of people and do these type of things? Like my client, she's a whole doctor gynecologist, and her knowledge is, you know, higher than where mine will ever be, but she still is able to get results with me because the communication's so good, and that is just amazing.
But also, she might be higher educational knowledge from a textbook standard point of view. Sorry, but like in regards to like how to apply, because she probably understands what to eat,
Yeah.
how to train to some degree, but she doesn't understand how to put it all together.
Yeah.
Because like there was a guy who came to me on Instagram yesterday, sent me a message saying about like programming, and it's like programming isn't just putting a bunch of exercises together and go on. It's like there's got to be a thought process behind. So there's no such thing as a bad exercise, right? I'm a big believer in this. There's no such thing as a bad exercise as long as it's got a justifiable reason to be in there. It's cool. You can do a kettlebell snatch and walk up the stairs all day if you want to, if there's a reason why you want to do it, or there's a justifiable reason why you should be doing it. But if you're just putting exercise after exercise after exercise and you don't know why you're doing it, that's when your programming skills need to be a little bit more adapted to the individual, because that individual's come to you with a specific goal. And it's like you've got to have a thought process about how you're going to get that person to go. So like, as I said, like the gynecologist might be book smart, more knowledgeable than you when it comes to that field, right? But in regards to how you apply things, like how you write a program, how you set up a nutrition structure, how you talk about supplementation, like your talk on sleep 2 days ago was Saturday, wasn't it? Sorry, Saturday was fucking unreal. It was just like, it was so clear about what your aim was to get to people. and you said it with such confidence, and everyone left there with at least learning something. And it's like, that's what you want to get from when you present. It's like, no, it's honestly like, I was really, really impressed. Never took my eyes off you, because you were so charismatic when you spoke, and that's a good sign of a presenter as well, where you can't help but listen. And everyone was the same. Like, everyone just looked at you and watched, because I was watching the whole room as well. And it's like, it's cool for me, obviously, because like I've coached you for like a while now, so see like the development of you. So it's like, it is cool to see in this. And it's like, I wonder where Maya's going to be in 5 years.
It was funny what you said to me. You were like, me and Ali were having a conversation on Zoom, and we can't really Zoom chat properly, can we? We should maybe talk about whatever training I'm doing or whatever, but it's sort of transitioned into now like a good old natter. And I remember you just saying to me like, who are you?
Yeah.
Like, how have you like changed this much? But like, I'll be honest, it was probably like when you told me about the idea of therapy and actually doing that. For me, it was always like a push off, but that helped me massively. Just be a little bit more lenient with myself and my emotions, not beat myself up about it, but lean back into them. Like I was saying before, I was always taking a step back. And I think that in general, understanding and being more aware of them has made me feel like, you know, oh yeah, I'm not underconfident anymore. Like if it comes to any type of challenge, I know I'm nervous now, I know I'm apprehensive now, but I guarantee once I do it, be fine. You know what I mean?
This could bring on to like another topic, like about imposter syndrome then.
Ugh. I don't think it's a bad thing to feel like a little bit of an imposter sometimes, because that means that you must be in quite a good position, if that makes sense. Because if you feel like you're out your depth a little bit, it means something's obviously came towards you that has been more than you've ever imagined, right? I think the main thing is knowing that, like, I think it all the time, you're not an imposter because you wouldn't have had that opportunity if it wasn't made for you.
Yeah.
So, what do you say?
Oh, mate, I feel like I'm a fucking imposter every time. It's like, why the fuck are coaches listening to me talk shit? Do you know what I mean? It's like, why are you all paying me to listen to me? No, it's. I think it has to be that. So it's like, if you're not and like, I think only certain types of people will get this. Like people who own businesses and people who want more from their lives on a sort of a day-to-day, week-to-week basis, who want their business to grow, who want another step. People will be able to relate to this. If you don't feel like you're out of your comfort zone,
You're not doing enough.
You know, it's like you should feel like I'm doing some. I'm like, I don't know if this is for public knowledge, but oh well. It's like I'm doing the education football now. It's like I'm teaching like the whole. They were having a members website and do the whole thing. It's like, fuck me, that's scary. It's like in January I'm going to Aberdeen, potentially going to Aberdeen, and doing like working with 3 top bodybuilders. China's coming as well, so there'll be 4 top bodybuilders. It's like, hi. It's like I'm going to tell you how to train a little bit better. It's like that's. It's cool to be outside your comfort zone, and it's like people get really, really nervous about it. It's like, nah, because like if you fuck up, who cares? You learn from it. It's like, I think everyone's afraid to make mistakes. It's like, the amount of fucking mistakes I've made when I've presented on the OTA, fuck's sake.
No one knows though, because you're using big words.
You just want to argue. It's like, I remember talking about profiles once, and I just didn't decipher between push and profiles, and it's like, looking back, I was like, oh, that was silly. But it's like, but who cares really? It's like, you got to put yourself in them positions, because then if you make a mistake, you know not to make it again, and you learn from it. And if you don't make a mistake, you've took one step closer to where you potentially want to be. So I love, like, I hate when people say don't feel like an imposter. You shouldn't feel imposter syndrome because you should be. It's like, fuck that. It's like, it's cool to feel nervous and outside your comfort zone. Like, this is a little bit nerve-wracking for me. Like, I never thought I would do, like, not nerve-wracking talking to you, but like having fucking
lights
5
on your
lights,
face,
3 cameras, a mic here. It's like, this is completely new to what I'm used to, but it's cool. It's like, enjoy it.
It's quite refreshing though to like hear you say that you still feel it, because you've been in the industry 3 times as long. How long have you been in the industry? 10 years? 12?
10 years, yeah.
10
Don't say 12,
years.
mate. I'm not that fucking old.
No, you might just start young. Yeah, like I've been in the industry for like 3. So you got 7 years on me, and you still feel like an imposter sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
But I remember one day just saying to myself, like, as a coach, and I get it, like this is like a bit of like a privilege to be able to do this to yourself. I just promised myself that anything that ever makes me feel uncomfortable, I don't get a chance to say no. I just say yes straight away. Yeah. So even when the first time I come to this podcast studios and Isaac and Jack asked me to come, I was like, oh, a podcast? Oh, what if I say something dead weird? But I just thought, you know what? I won't know until I actually try it. And I actually think if people go with that, just say yeah. Just don't even just word vomit it out. Put yourself in that predicament. Say yes. Then you have to face the challenge. You get what I mean?
It's like, do you know when people go, just right, I'm just like, you got a client and on the check and they've gone, yeah, I'm doing a marathon. It's like, are you? It's like, it's fucking, but it's like,
Wow,
you've got, it's like fair play. It's like, because like, you've only ever done a 5K before.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a big fucking step, but you've committed to it now. And it's like, I don't care if you walk it. It's like, I love it when people challenge themselves. Like, Lucy's obviously got that new role, hasn't she? And it's like, fucking love it.
Yeah.
And it's, as I said, like, I've got a very, very privileged position. I get to see like all of you grow. And it's like, it's cool. It's like, it's so cool just seeing you go from strength to strength to strength to fucking up somewhere. It's then bouncing back from it. It's like, it is weird.
Like
Do you know what I mean?
children. Like you've got your own little children.
Yeah, it is mad because like you are proud. It's really, really bizarre because it's like you'd been proud for your girls doing the photo shoot.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like my proud's like singular. It's like, oh fucking hell, May's doing boss now. Like I was sitting there just listening to you on Saturday going, oh, this is so fucking cool.
You know what it is as well? It's like when you see your clients grow from that perspective, it's just like, because you know you've been part of that, whether you like it or not, is crazy. Like even the shoot that I did with my girls the other day, like they bought me flowers and a Nike voucher.
Yeah.
And me, I'm just flabbergasted by stuff like that. Like when people say, you know what, this is for you, like this is how you've helped me. And it's crazy how we can do that online. Do you know what I mean? Because I was very familiar with like, you know, me clients in the gym when I was training, getting me like flowers or Christmas presents because they'd see me twice a week. Do you know what I mean? But the fact that like I'd never met any of these girls before in person, they all come down to Birmingham, they're taking pictures in the most confident place they've been in the whole life. Like one of my clients, Shelley, she looked at a picture of us and that's not me. We were like, yeah, that's you. She's like, nope, it's not me. And I just feel like watching your clients go from like, I say 0 to hero, but it's not. They're starting off somewhere, but they want a new perspective completely.
Yeah.
There's no better feeling. I think that's why I've actually continued doing what I'm doing.
So like from where you started off as a coach to where you are now, what's the biggest differences? Because you've been in it 3 years now, so you would have changed to some degree. I know you've changed for a start.
Yeah. My values, easily.
Oh, go on, elaborate.
Easily. I think when I first started, it just felt like I needed to be what everyone expected of me, right? Like, I'm not sitting here saying, you know, the life of an influencer doesn't look plushy, right? For men or women, you know. Yeah. Take your top off, oil yourself up, hold a few supplements, get paid for it, have a couple clients, live in Dubai, end of story, right? It looks great, you know? But when I started off, I think I thought I was going to be that. So I just lent into whatever people expected of me, you know, the booty bands and the. So when I was coaching people, I couldn't really think outside my own realms. So it wasn't working. Like the advice that I was given, I was just getting frustrated with clients instead of actually like listening to what the problems were. And then realizing, oh shit, I don't really have a good relationship with food myself. I don't have really good body image myself. I compare myself constantly. How can I coach people, you know, from that perspective, unless I can change that within, you know what I mean? And then like my whole values sort of changed to what type of coach I wanted to be. I didn't want to be, no offense if you are like, but I didn't want to be the booty band wearing influencer anymore. Like I didn't want to be.
Oh, I'll fucking slag them off. It's like...
But you know what though? Like even, you see them, right? They're not necessarily doing anything wrong. They are their brands. They are promoting themselves. So I would never sit there and say what they're doing is like a sellout thing, because at the end of the day, they're probably creating opportunities for themselves just in a way we're not familiar with. Do you know what I'm saying?
So I agree with you if they genuinely believe in it.
Yeah.
If they don't believe in it and they're doing it just for selling it and they're selling a lie to people, like, look, no one's got a fucking arse right like what they have by fucking doing glute kickbacks with a booty band.
It's genetics, bro.
Yeah, it's like fuck off. Like same as like people walking backwards up a fucking Stairmaster.
Yeah.
It's gonna do fuck all for you as well. But no, I agree with you in regards to like if they generally believe in it and they believe in the product, they're not doing anything wrong. They're being honest.
Yeah.
It's when people are dishonest. That's when I sort of have a bit of an issue with it.
But don't you think as well, like if we took some of these influencers and took the followers away, like all them 100,000s of followers, we probably wouldn't perceive them the same way. No. If we took the likes and everything away, do you know what I mean? Like, I felt like when I first started, even like looking at my statistics, mostly men followed me. And I was a female coach.
Yeah.
Make that make sense. And it was because of the way I was portraying myself. It was just pictures of me. There was no valuable content. It was just like the then I started speaking on camera. Then I started like actually giving advice, not just posing and doing what I'm doing. And that's when I noticed, nah, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'd rather people tell me that I've helped them rather than give me a couple likes on Instagram and say, you look nice.
Yeah.
Because one of them is going to get me a future business, one of them isn't. And I think that is what changed me as a coach. And sometimes, like, you know, I see other people in the industry who are falling into that bracket and they don't even realize it. Like, they're moving towards more influencer than coach. And I think that's the problem with our industry a little bit. You know what I mean?
So I don't envy influencers at all, because I remember this happened about 2 weeks ago, actually. I woke up to a DM, right, off a random bald man slagging me off, saying, you're never going to make it as a pro bodybuilder because your arms are too small. I was like, no shit. I'm 32. I've been doing this a while. I would have made it by now. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, that was like, look, I'm a nobody. Do you know this? Like, in regards to like my Instagram following, I've got 4,600 things, something like that. It's nothing compared to people who've got hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
It's the amount of hate messages they must get. I do not envy that at all, because like, look, I didn't give a fuck. He messaged me. Like, I didn't even read the message. Sorry, I did read the message and then just like deleted it because it couldn't be arsed. And then he messaged me again saying, you've got nothing to say to that. Just deleted it again. It's like, but if that was someone who was a little bit younger, okay, that was me 7 years ago, that would have fucked me up.
Yeah.
That would have mentally like played in my mind for so long.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's why I don't envy influencers. It's like, because you like, look, you might not agree, like I was just said then, in regards to like how they sell things and whatnot, but to put themselves in that limelight, they've got to take that stick as well.
Yeah.
And it must be hard. Do you know what I mean? It must be hard, that constant
it's the volume.
abuse. Yeah.
It's the volume of it.
Yeah.
Like, but I think that's why like people get to types like media training and everything, and like when they start becoming in the public eye. I remember I did a TikTok live, like first off, and someone just came at me like in.
Really?
So basically, what happens on TikTok live
Didn't
is
even know you could do TikTok live, by the way.
no, it's the weirdest place you will ever be.
Go on.
It's strange, right? But I popped in, right, and I was like in the middle of like doing my makeup, so I didn't have any eyebrows, right?
What?
My eyebrows were just not drawn on. I did have eyebrows, but they weren't visible. Do you get what I mean?
No, but go on.
No. I hadn't had my makeup on, Ali.
Right,
That's
okay,
it,
so.
right? And someone basically just comes in. It filters anything that's offensive. So it picks
Okay.
up on anything like swearing or racism and it just blocks it out, right? But he spelt the N-word
No.
through the actual comments. And then he was like, why don't you have eyebrows? Started hinting that I was ill. And I was like, I was reading it. All these other comments were coming through, like people asking me fitness questions, you know, talking about fat loss. And I just seen all these like things coming through. And I remember just like stopping and pausing in the middle of this live, just going, I'm going to get angry.
Yeah.
And I was like, but wait, why am I even getting angry? Who is this person? Do you know what I mean? Like, why would they come onto my TikTok live and do this? But it's just social media.
Oh, it's ruthless. But it's like, that's just like, it's just disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because like,
I tracked him down, like.
did you?
Literally, I found his page, like I literally like screenshotted his page.
Is he still alive?
Went back off. Nah, I ended up. Me and my eyebrows got to him.
Just throws him on the ground, does it? But no, I think that's the issue. Like the people think people don't understand the repercussions to their actions and what they say.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
you're not on TikTok, are you? No. Ali, listen. I know everyone says this. Everyone says it. Oh, it's for kids. It's dancing.
no, it's supposed to be one of the best platforms.
Oh yeah, it's amazing for like the fitness community. It's unbelievable. But the problem is that Instagram, it's people who follow you who usually know you. So they're never going to comment hate, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's directly in your DMs, which never happens. But you do something wrong on TikTok, you've gone viral the next day. Everyone's responding. People are literally like coming down your throat. So when you said about like influencers, imagine that like times 10. You think 1, 2, 3 bad comments is it? Like, I don't know. Could you handle it? Do you think you could handle it?
It depends on the context of what I said. So like if I said something in regards to like mechanics and someone decides, oh, I wouldn't give a shit. It's like, that. But like if someone took something I said out of context, and then it gets portrayed to be something that it wasn't, I probably wouldn't hand that now. No, because I think it's like, because people don't know you as an individual. Like me and you have a joke all the time. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but if something, I think that's the thing, is like I said to you before, everything needs context behind what you're saying. And when you do a little snippet on Instagram, or someone tunes into a live halfway through, but they haven't heard the first half of the conversation, and then they see something, then they screenshot it, and then it goes, I say, goes viral. It's like, you could be ruined.
Yeah, it's true.
Especially like our businesses, like one bad comment or one bad review goes a mile. I think that's where it's very, very, how can I put it, risky.
I think as a content creator, like, you've got to be careful with the language that you use, because as we said before, like, you can say something, like if you were trying to say like all dieting is willpower, right? Which I don't really necessarily agree with. I think there's a lot of different things going on towards that. At the end of the day, it's...
So we can talk about diets in a minute though.
Diets.
Yeah, go on.
Fat loss. But if you were to come on saying, oh, anyone who can't stick to a diet is fat and lazy, right? Expect hate, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Don't be shocked when the world turns around and doesn't like your very savage approach. And the same if you are quite like a little bit more like, what's the word I'm looking for? Spiritual, if you're talking about stuff like that. Because people, if they're not that personality type, they will just naturally disagree. But it's okay to disagree on things. I think that's what people forget.
Yeah, and I think that the whole like diets and things is an interesting one as well, because like the facts are facts, right? Like, look, if people can't do it, there's a reason why they can't do it. But and it might be down to willpower, do you know what I mean? But it's like, but why haven't they got the willpower for that? Why isn't it a priority for them at the moment in time? I think you've always got to ask why. Because look, at the end of the day, like if people can't stick to a diet, it's because it's not a big enough priority at that moment in time for that person. But it's like, why isn't it a big enough priority? What else have you got within your life right now that is stopping you from being able to achieve that? Because you told me that goal meant this and this and this and this to you. And that's where I think coaches need to break things down a little bit more. Like, everyone demonizes everything, don't they? Like, everyone demonizes meal plans. Meal plans are great. Okay. Meal plans are absolutely fantastic. I know somebody who hasn't got a clue what to eat, and they think 100 grams of protein is 100 grams of chicken. Meal plan is exactly what they fucking need. Right? Whereas like people who can get obsessive, like China, for example, like when she done her first prep, she ate the same food for a year. The same food, just different quantities, but she ate the same meals. And then for her, when I met her, like to try and get her to eat like in a restaurant, or it was a challenge. It took me to throw a protein bar down her throat for her to like break the cycle. And then she's broke the cycle now and she's great. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, it needs to be a bigger thing. It was me probably bollocking her. And me trying to really show her that you've got to have, I hate the word balance, but there's got to be some kind of balance within life in regards like to do this, like you're in an improvement phase. This is the time to relax a little bit, because the dieting phase is brutal. But again, it's like, it must have been a priority enough for her to do that. Otherwise, she would have stuck to the food plan, because her physique goals were more of a priority at that moment in time, if that makes sense.
She was seeing food as more just a stepping stone rather than something that you actually enjoy.
It's all she knew. It's like, this is how I got in shape. So this is what I need to do to keep doing it, getting in shape. And again, it's just she won't mind me saying this, it's a lack of education.
Yeah.
It's like she's very educated girl, she's a dentist, so she's smarter than me for a start. But it's in regards to like this world that we live in, people are uneducated. It's like a calorie isn't a calorie.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be debatable. There's some fucking hate here, isn't it? But like a calorie isn't a calorie. Like one chicken compared to another chicken, the breast is going to be different.
Yeah.
It's just consistency.
Yeah.
And like this whole if it fits your macros crowd does me fucking head in. It's like, it's not about fucking fitting an oasis into your diet. I'm going to bring that oasis up here. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you have your main meals, and then if you've got some calories left over, then you can have things. Or if you know you're going out on the weekend, I'm a big fan of banking calories. I think it's a good technique for people who are trying to understand how to manage their intake. It's like, do that. So bank calories on the weekend, have a bit more of an overindulgent meal of an evening. Like, there's so many ways in which you can do it, but it just has to fit the individual and that goal for the individual.
Yeah, definitely.
At that moment in time.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think the only person I can compare to is myself at that time. You know, I personally think I was more interested in, you know, what foods can do and what they are. But I think I started off eating like a bodybuilder, thinking that's what, listen, I'm half African. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The foods that we usually eat, right, are drenched in oil. You know, if you've ever had palm oil and all these type of things.
Things that make food taste nice.
Yeah, exactly. Tasty, right? So looking from that perspective and the types of foods that I had, I just didn't eat them for a while. Like, I completely fell out of loving food when I started off my fitness journey because I thought I needed Tupperware. Did I get in shape? Yeah. 100% I did, because it was all controlled. It was all in nice Tupperware boxes. But then eventually, even me, it was like, it's got to be more of this.
Yeah.
So actually learning about nutrition and like the types of foods that are going to benefit me a lot more made me break my own cycle of that. Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh, can't have a pizza. It's not going to kill me. But some people genuinely fear the idea, especially in the bodybuilding industry, I'm guessing, that the minute that touches their lips, that something's going to change.
100%. Like it doesn't even need both post-show, but post diet phase from most clients. Nobody really pushed the boundary. Like, you've pushed calories low.
And then lean.
Because it's like, look, by the way, like if you want to get lean, calories have to go low. Right? So like, anyone who thinks you can eat a pizza and get a six-pack, it's probably not going to happen. You've either already got the six-pack.
Liver King.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's like fucking bullshit, right? Is he going to sue us now or something like that? Like,
nah, he's too rich and busy. He don't care about us, Ali.
I found out loads of shit about him, actually, like how many business he owns and all this.
Oh, yeah.
He's fucking killing
Stephen
it,
Bartlett's
isn't he?
podcast?
No, I listened to him. He was on another one called Jordan Shallow's RXD Radio. And they were talking about him, like he owns like 3 different supplement companies or something.
Genetics are mad though, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, it's like he's also fucking jabbing shit. It's like, he's not natty.
See on the Daily Mail tomorrow.
Yeah, he's not. There's like oil going into him left, right and centre.
Oil.
But like, getting back to what you were saying there before, what was the actual original thing?
I actually don't remember. Post-diet phases.
Oh yeah, post-diet phase. So it's like, it is very, very hard to break a cycle when you've been repeating something for so long. So like, when you're in a diet and down phase, you work like a robot. It's like, you get up at this time, you do your cardio this time, you eat your meal at this time, because you're so focused on food, because you're so hungry.
Yeah.
And everything, because especially if you have a busy life as well, everything sort of needs to be sort of really, really controlled, because if you're 5 minutes late to get the bus to work or whatever it may be, that's going to then offset other things.
Yeah.
So you're going to be in a bit of a rush after meal prep and all this. So then when you sort of come out of that phase and you've got so much time, it's a hard thing to get grasp. And like, I'll be totally transparent. Like, I've never really struggled myself. Like, I've never binged post-show or anything like that. But like, I've always wanted to be in control.
Yeah.
And this diet down phase for me, because I actually never got to compete last year, but this year, back in the summer, because like, I got really, really sick, I really struggled mentally, because like, I never got to step on stage. So I didn't have that sort of like quote unquote rebound phase, which I was so used to having. And it was like, I struggled to break that cycle more than I ever have done before. I've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
And people need to understand that it's okay to feel like that, but then people need to understand you need to listen to other people around you who are in this industry, who are trying to give you advice, because you can get so caught up in your own head. And like that, like China was just like, just eat this. I was like, no, I wouldn't. Like, I'd slowly increase my food, which you can say is a good thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, I wasn't finding a life.
Yeah, you were sort of trapped in that cycle of what you knew at the time.
Because I never got to that final goal.
Yeah.
Even though it was the best shape I've ever been in, all this kind of thing, I never got to that final destination. So the transition from that phase was very, very difficult for me. And it's the same for most people.
Yeah.
Like, they struggle, or they go completely opposite and they put on 30 pounds in 3 days because they can't.
Have you really?
I've seen ridiculous, because it's like, they go for a meal, but you spoke about it, leptin and ghrelin. Because that's so skewed, it's like, you have a cookie, but you can't just stop.
I need more.
But like, it's, and this is where like the whole like, so like, if a client for me is on a holiday and it's all you can eat, it's be an adult. That's my one rule, just be an adult.
Yeah.
Food's always going to be there. It's like, don't just fill your face full of cake for breakfast.
Yeah.
You'll never do that at home.
I think it's years and years and years of their environment though, and what they know about food. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's mad, isn't it? Because, do you know when you were a kid, if you were full, you'd stop eating.
See, I didn't live in that environment. Mine was eat everything on your plate.
But you know what I mean? That was like, but it's like, if you had like an abundance of food.
Oh yeah.
You'd stop. Like, oh no, like say you went out for a pizza with your mum and dad.
Yeah.
And like, or you went to like, your mum and dad got loads of pizzas in. When you were full, you'd stop and then you go out and play.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, but it's like, we feel like when we have something like that now, we have to always consume it. And like, the bodybuilding world is horrendous for it, by the way. It's like, it's horrendous. It's like, we can't just go out for a meal like a normal person. We have to have 3.
We have to bring our scales.
It's
as well.
mad. It's mad. Yeah. It's like, no, we're not that bad. But it's mad. It's like, you can't just go out and have a meal like a normal person in regards. Like, because, and this is again where, in my opinion, mindset does need to be shifted within the industry. It's like, if for example, like we go out for a meal after this podcast, right? We go to Chemo's down the road there. It's like, I should just be able to go and get a meal. And I can now because I've been fine-tuned to do it for so long, but I couldn't do that 2 years ago. I'd have to get 2 meals.
For the calorie purpose or the protein purpose, is that what you're trying to say?
No, just because mainly, I don't know what the logic would be. It's more maybe because like, I know I probably wouldn't have had this again for a while, so it's like I want to make the most of it.
Oh, okay. So it's like the mental, or let me go in.
Yeah.
I can't just enjoy what's there.
I can't enjoy it.
Yeah. I've never thought of it that way, to be fair, on the eating more side. Like,
but it's also
purposely.
like for example, like I'm in a big surplus now. I'm eating like 4,500 to 5,000 calories. It's like, if I go for a meal, it's like I've got to make sure I get it all in. So I don't want to lose weight. But it's like, but you surely eating that amount of food in that one setting's not going to be good for your digestive system.
Yeah,
You're definitely not going to utilize all the food.
It's not.
So it's like, this way you can go down so many little rabbit holes with this, and this like the psychology to food is very, very interesting to me. I'm not a big fan of nutrition, bores me a little bit, but I do like talking about this shit and getting people's different perspectives on it. Because it's, again, like me and you've grown up completely different. It's like,
do you think a prep coach can claim to be a lifestyle coach? That's a question.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's a coach can claim to be whatever they want to be if they've got the knowledge and experience to do it.
But more like someone who is a bodybuilder.
Yeah, 100%, because I could.
Being a lifestyle coach.
Yeah, 100%, I could. I might be less lenient to bullshit excuses.
Yeah.
But I understand because at the end of the day, when you get a client and they consult with you, like I've said, I've got that guy with UC. He's not fucking stepping on stage. Do you know what I mean? His is health. It's a lifestyle management. It's like, we need to make sure when he goes out, he understands what he can eat for himself.
Yeah.
That's not going to upset him, not going to stress him out, because like when it comes to people with digestive issues as well, it's like stress management is key.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to make sure, but like stress just isn't from an instant where you get stressed. It's like anything that upsets your GI, poor sleep, all these, like, we need to manage that. So yeah, I think if you've got the experience and you can understand the client's goals, what's important, not what you fucking want for them.
Yeah.
Because that's what a lot of coaches do, isn't it? It's like, we push things on the client sometimes because we see genetic potential. Like you're a genetic freak. It's like you've got great athletic genes. It's like, oh, come on, let's just get really, really lean. It's like that's it, because I see the potential in you.
I remember you say it.
But it's like, but at the same time, it's like, but what does Maya want? Maya wants to
Yeah.
have this athletic figure. She wants to be able to go out on the weekends and enjoy herself and live a quote unquote what Maya thinks is balance at this moment in time.
Yeah.
And who knows, a year and a half down the line, you go, "Do you know something, Ali? I want to really push myself here.
Yeah.
I want to see what I'm capable of." Because you might be ready, or you might want to do something then, but you've got to listen to the client and what they want as opposed to what you want.
Yeah.
I think that might be the issue with prep coaches.
Yeah, I suppose when you're looking from just, because the clients that I deal with, some of them aren't with me for body transformations. Some of them are with me because they just genuinely want to feel like, one, they've got a focus in on themselves to do with their health or nutrition or training, or two, because they've been with me that long now that it is just like paying a utility bill to them. Like, I like having a coach and that accountability, which is like fine to do. Do you know what I mean?
It's that accountability.
Yeah, but like sometimes, you'll be looking at like physique, and this is where you have to be true to what you want to coach people like, because I think there's been so many circumstances where I've probably met people and they have started prep because they had a prep coach, or they live like they're on prep, but it wasn't really what they wanted at the time, but they felt like they had to do it, or it was a way they should be going. And it's like, yeah, if that's like your passion now, awesome, someone's helped you find that. But sometimes, like, I'll have consultations with people and I'm talking to them, I'm like, is that what you want?
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, like, the things that you're saying to me, do you know what it takes to get there? Because one part, you like going out with your mates and having drinks every single week, but you want to be this lean. That makes no sense to me, because for a fact you can't do that every single week. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's asking it's like the big question as a coach can ask is why. It's like, okay, why do you want to achieve that? So I've got a client now who I've had since I used to one-to-one PT. I train him and his missus, and like he's always been in good, how can I put it, healthy, athletic sort of like shape. But he really wants to push his physique now. Like, he's done a lot of work on himself, and it's fucking cool now. Just seeing like him getting leaner and leaner and leaner, pushing his boundaries. But we're going to have a diet break in about 3 weeks, just a couple of weeks over Christmas, and then we'll push again in January. But it's like his why now is completely different to his why what it was 2 years ago. And it's because he really wants it for a specific reason for himself, not because, as you said before, like they think like they have to do it. It's like you don't have to do anything. Like I do believe like most people should, like we know you talking about coaches being in shape before. It's like I think coaches should be healthy.
Yeah,
It's like,
definitely. If you're not healthy, like it's a
yeah,
little bit hard to.
It's like you should be your inspiration and motivation to your clients.
Yeah.
So whatever aspect you go down in regards to like whoever you're trying to work with, you should be inspiring them to achieve what they want to achieve. Like, for example, females who want to feel better about themselves and all this probably aren't going to come to me. Do you know what I mean? Like females who just they don't want to push themselves in regards to gym, or like females who are potentially, I don't know, females, I'll stick to females, who are potentially new to the gym, they're a bit unsure, they just want to feel comfortable in their own skin and all these kind of things like that. I'm probably not the coach. Like I mentor coaches, I try and push people to a bit more of an extreme kind of thing. But they might go to you because you're very skilled at that and you like to work with people like that. And again, this is why there's so many different coaches who are passionate about certain things, because there's nothing wrong about not being passionate about something.
Yeah.
It's like I really am not as passionate about nutrition as I am about training.
Yeah.
But that will come through when I talk to you about training or talk to you about nutrition. And I think that's where coaches need to understand you don't have to do everything. I don't believe you have to find a fucking niche either. It's like finding a niche is like, I think that's a little bit too extreme. It's like you should be open to helping anybody.
Yeah.
As long as it aligns with your values.
Yeah. I think the idea of like a niche is so you can expert in one field. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even me, like, you know, some of my clients are so different.
Yeah.
But we forget, like, have you ever read the book Surrounded by Idiots?
No.
No? About the different personality types, red, yellow, green? No?
Enlighten me.
It's just basically, it categorizes people into like 4.
Okay.
Right? Let's say a red personality type is very do it, no bullshit, move forward, sort it out, right? If you try and come on a holistic vibe with that type of person, it's not going to work. If someone's more, I think yellow's a little bit more like outgoing, friendly, empathetic, if that's correct. It might be a different colour, but let's just say it is. And you come on do your shit, like make sure it's done. It's not going to work. Do you know what I mean? So when like people talk about like a niche, I think being yourself as a coach, you will get the clients who are meant to work with you.
Yes.
You know, you sit on a consultation call or have an induction with someone, and you personally know in the first 10 minutes whether you will work with them or not. And they know in the first 5 whether they're going to work with you as well.
100%.
And I think what people get so caught up on is, say I had a client who went to someone I know or something like that. I'm not offended by that. If that person's actually going to be in a better position. What annoys me is if someone goes to someone and I know that's not the coach for them, or I know they need something different. But even then I'm not in that position. So I don't know what they're going to talk about or how they're going to help them. So
yeah, and it's one of them, isn't it, where I say like you're not going to get on with everyone, and like the consultation call is just as much for you as it is for the client.
Yeah.
It's like to assess, will we work well or not together?
I remember mine with you.
Fucking hell, do you? I don't remember ours.
Yeah, I remember it. I was like,
I'm intrigued.
Whatever I need to do, just do it.
No, but it's cool because it's like I've got like if you're gonna give me 110%, I'll give you 120. It's like if that's all I care.
Yeah.
It's like I don't. So to contradict what I said previously now, but it's like I don't really necessarily care what the goal is. If you're gonna give me everything, I'll give you more.
Yeah.
And that's all that's all I care about. I really don't do well with people who give me half-assed approaches. Because like I love coaching.
Yeah.
I love investing in the people I coach with. And like you've also got to understand as a coach, everything's not going to be fucking plain sailing.
Nah,
It's like there's going to be times when the client's not there. Like the client's going through something and you do have to back off a little bit. Yeah.
He's like the side smirk at me because I'm like, sorry, Ali, I haven't checked in 4 weeks.
But it's not like we don't talk though, so I'll let you off. But it's like there's going to be times when clients are going through something where that check-in form isn't a priority at the moment in time. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, but you understand that the client for the most part is giving you everything and they're open and they're honest and they're talking to you about it. You as a coach, you've got to go, okay, cool. Maintenance for a little bit. We'll, and then this is where you need to sit down and map things out with clients.
Give them confidence that things are going to be fine.
These are other good things like beginner coaches, like put this shit in. It's like map out people's journeys. because then there you can sort of look for potentially when there might be a little bit of a hiccup or events that are coming up, and you can put them in place. And then also, like, if someone's going through a bit of a bad time, you then have to move the schedule, or you might have to push the schedule a little bit harder to get to that final outcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't know how the fuck we got into that, but
No, it's true. Just be there for the clients when they actually need you. Because I'm not going to lie, 80% of the time, if you've got a client for long term, they know what they need to be doing.
Yeah.
They check in as a form of like response and
Yeah, yeah.
reflection. They just want you to go, awesome, right? Sometimes that's it. But when it matters the most, you know, you've got to make sure that you're putting things in place that is going to get them out of the stage, whatever they're in, and give you that trust as a coach that you're always going to be there as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember one client who's been with me now for over a year, my first consultation with her, she just said no straight out to me. She's just like, no, don't need it. And there's me like that on the end of Zoom, like, okay. 6 months later, after she realised that she was basically in a 8-week program with me when I was in GRT, and we were like coaching her through it. After that period, she then realised that, oh shit, like I really can't progress on my own. She needed to go through that little period of time before she came to me. If I would have jumped at her and said, no, you do need it, when she didn't, this wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And the same applies throughout long-term coaching. There's going to be times where saying, just stay in your diet. When someone's mentally going through it, you've got to be able to turn around and go, do you know what, right? Change it.
Yeah, and I think the another thing is, like, I didn't realize I just whacked this one out then. The thing is like, when clients are going through things, it's like, all business coaches are going to hate what I'm going to say now. I'm going to say it anyway.
Cancel culture.
It's just like, it's like, just jump on a Zoom with them. Know what I mean? Just jump. If a client's going through a bad time, it doesn't really matter if you want to be time efficient or whatnot. Jump on a phone call, jump on a Zoom.
Yeah.
It's like, people don't realize how that one little bit of you giving your time to that person, how much it can help that person.
It's true. It's so true.
It's
like, be a human.
Yeah, don't say, I've got an appointment next Friday and it's fucking Monday. It's like, just find 15 minutes, 20 minutes within your day. Just say, look, I've got 20 minutes here. Do you want to just jump on a quick phone call? We can just talk about this. Because then you'll have a better understanding where that client's at. You'll be able to then help the client a little bit more, and that client then feels like they're being listened to, which is something that is massively important. Unfortunately, now I think coaches just think the ones we checking. It's like, no, it's like, drop a WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Hey, how you getting on? Oh, you see something on Instagram? Like, that, to be fair, that's a big reminder for me when I see clients on Instagram. It's like, oh shit, I'm just going to drop a message saying, well done, or something like that. Because, like, you do get busy, but that's one thing. It's like, I understand about being time efficient when you're trying to run a business and all that. I do get that. But you should always have time just to jump on a call. I don't care if it's fucking 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Just jump on a call and just speak to the clients, just make sure they're okay.
It baffles me, really, honestly, like how some coaches have zero relationships with the clients. Like, I'm not saying, oh, you need to be like best mates and go for coffees and walk your dogs together. Like, I'm not.
No, there's got to be that balance.
There's a boundary. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to ring you at 12 o'clock at night and tell you about like the fella problems, Lord. But like, all I'm saying is, how can you actually get the best out of someone if there's not connection, but that person's not completely open and honest with you? Because I know for a fact I've had situations with clients where there's something they're not saying and I know it, but I have to wait until we're comfortable enough, because you can't be saying those things in the first 2 weeks.
No.
Or first 3 weeks.
No, you can't be telling people to like leave the fellas.
Yeah.
After 3 weeks.
I will say that, to be honest.
Oh, so will I now. Like, no, but that thing is, it's like when you've got a good relationship with that client, like you've got to put what you think that's best that client first. And it might not be what they want to hear.
Yeah.
So it might be.
You said it to me.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah. But it's like, you might need to potentially tell them to leave the job. Or have you ever thought about potentially, not as forceful, I was like, have you ever thought about like a career change? Or like, they keep moaning about the partner, or the partner isn't treating them correctly, or there's something wrong with the relationship, and the relationship sabotage what they want to achieve.
Yeah.
It's like, leave.
Yeah.
Like, you're not nailed down to anything. And sometimes they might not do it there and then, but 6 months down the line, they might do it. And again, it's like, as long as you're doing it with the best intention, like, look, we can't tell people what to fucking do with their lives as such. But it's like, at the end of the day, if you think for the best that client, that's the most important thing.
Even stepping outside of like client work and coaching, like, they're the type of things you'd do for someone who you genuinely care about, wouldn't you? Like, if, you know, one of the coaches we both know was going through a proper hard time in their relationship or their career, we'd be the people to say, if you don't want to do it anymore, or you don't want to be there anymore, then just change it. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes, because you're an authoritative figure in someone's life, it helps them massively. Like the amount of times you've just said things to me and I've just been like, yeah, needs to hear that today. But it took me some time to actually react to it. Do you know what I mean? And do it for myself.
Yeah, 100%. And like, but that's like the fine line between like Joe becoming friendly with clients. They still got to respect you as an authoritative figure.
Yeah.
It's like I've just took on Michael Fox. Like me and Michael Fox have known each other for 6 years, maybe 7 years now. We're friends. I said, look, this is only going to work if you look at me as an authoritative figure, not as a friend. So we're going to try it for a month and we'll just see.
Yeah.
And like if he listens to me and all this kind of thing, cool. Because like that it's not that he doesn't listen because he doesn't have respect for me. It's the fact of we're friends.
Just comfortable. Yeah, I've tried to coach my mates before.
It's like Michael's a very, very good compliant guy, so he will. I'm very, very confident he will. But it's that kind of fine line where I've got really great relationships with my clients, but I'm still hopefully looked at as an authoritative figure. Whereas if I say, okay, we need to do this, they'll listen and not go, it's all right. Ali's not going to mind.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's making sure you've got that. And to be the same with you and your clients, because you obviously build up strong relationships, but it's like, when you say, no, fucking stop it.
Yeah.
They've got to, okay. There's got to be that. But it's like, at the same time, it's like when they're going through a difficult time, they go, Maya, can we just have a chat? Because again, it's going to impede them getting to their goals as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's the truth. It's just knowing who you're speaking to and what type of relationship that you have. And, you know, sometimes people deal with that nice honesty. Do you know what I mean? Blunt honesty. I deal well with that, right? If anything, I don't want anyone to sugarcoat things.
No.
And I've learned this as I've gone along. If I think you're sugarcoating things, I think you're taking the piss out of me.
Yeah.
So I need someone to say, no, sort your shit out, do it this way. And that's just the way I've always responded better. But again, like I said before, it's not going to work. But as long as you know who that person is, you know exactly how to coach them. Whatever you say, it'll work for them.
Yeah, like Beth Blakely. It's like, just fucking tell her how it is. Like, I love, like, she writes in the check and go, a bit of dick this week. And like, being a dick this week is like, she's put 2 sessions back to back that she shouldn't have put 2 back to back. Like, she's so fucking on it. But it's like, just don't pull any punches with her. Like, just fucking say exactly how it's like, stop being twat. And it's like, but she responds well to that. Whereas I've got other people, if I called them a twat, like, direct debit cancelled.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that ever happened to you before?
No. You'd have had this where it's like people just cancel direct debit out of the blue. And like, they just ghost you.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you do that?
It's
like, just drop me a message. Like, I'm not gonna be offended.
Yeah.
Just like, at least tell me you're going to leave. It's like,
it's just the audacity for me.
Oh, I just couldn't. It's like me. Like, I was with Cal for 4.5 years, right? Imagine me just like cancel go cardless and then don't tweet him. Like, it's like, I don't get like how people do it. It's like, just like, look, like, we're all adults, aren't we? It's like, you could just go, look, I want to try something new. Like Troy, Troy's going to go work with another coach. Awesome, he's been with me for a year. He wants to learn a different coach's modalities. Fucking love it.
Yeah.
Like, you've picked up as what you can pick up from me. Go and learn off someone else, because we all do things differently. It's like, love that. It's like, but people just like, don't talk to you and just like cancel. It's like, okay, bye.
It's just like, I am not a person who can leave anything on bad terms, right?
Yeah.
They can leave it on bad terms with me all they want.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to leave it on bad terms, because I know, like, you've actually worked with me for some time, or, you know, we know each other and I might actually see you out and about.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to say hello.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And no bad blood. But, like, when you look at your thing, you're like, oh, that bounced.
Yeah, it's like,
hey, mate.
Oh, it's a hot words message, isn't it? It's like, hey, just let you know. It's like, they fucking already know, don't they?
Oh, they know.
Yeah, they're not fucking stupid.
Then you got one tick on WhatsApp and you're like, oh.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, you've been blocked, or yeah. It's only, to be fair, like, it's only happened. I can probably remember all the times it's happened.
Yeah.
So it's not that happens, but it's like, it is annoying. Like, it was even worse, like, knowing you one-to-one coaching. It's like, payments due. I fucking hated that conversation. Fucking hated it. It was great though. You just get paid in cash.
Like the tax man. Hey. Just to let you know, you owe me this much.
This definitely can't go on. What the fuck is tax? Do you know what I mean? Anything else you want to talk about?
Ooh, let's see. Question. What is your advice to someone who is brand new in the fitness industry and is trying to find who they are?
Fucking hell, mate. That's a fucking deep.
Brand
new in the fitness industry and wants to find out who they are. Work on the gym floor, work with a bunch of different people. Be very, very open-minded. Don't put what you like to do in front of them. So like, just because you like to bodybuild, or just because you like CrossFit, or just because you like whatever it may be, fucking dance or marathon running, whatever it may be, don't give that to all your fucking clients.
Yeah.
Listen to what the client's goal is and then reverse engineer how to get the best for that client's goal. And then you'll find out who you are. You find out what you like. You find out who you like to work with. Because you'll be writing a CrossFit workout or some kind of CrossFit workout, and it's like, oh, this is fucking boring. But then you might be scheduling like a marathon running, like based off like engine system and all this kind of thing. It's like, this is so cool. It's like my clients knock 5 minutes off the time. It's like, that's what you like at the moment. And be very open-minded to change. Because like how I even teach mechanics now compared to how I teach mechanics 6 months ago, completely different.
Yeah.
It's like we're ever evolving individuals, especially keep educating yourself. So understand that what you know now, probably going to be wrong in 2 years.
Yeah.
Or you're going to approach it in a different way in 2 years. That's probably my advice to young people in the industry. Anyone just getting into the industry. Anyone in the industry, actually.
Just in general now.
Just be open-minded to other modalities and other methods of doing things, and don't think you're right. Because you're probably not if you think like that.
That's true.
You?
I'd say more on the like education side, definitely, for sure. And I think the main thing is you don't have to be good at everything. And that's what I think a lot of people and coaches believe. Like even in the client realm, people think they have to be great at every single exercise. It's not true, right? You can build to that. But I think exploring as many avenues, like you said, you're going to know which one that you're really interested in. So you don't really like nutrition. You find it boring. I find nutrition is quite interesting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Some people may really love training mechanics and some people may love swimming, something like that, right? And I think as a coach, you need to be open, like you said, to look at all these different avenues and just actually reflect on what you like more, because it's so easy to come in and go for the resistance training, calories, macros, done. But it's been done. So find your own sort of way of doing things, because it's not incorrect if you're helping people.
Oh,
simple as that.
It's like, what can you talk about with no effort?
Yeah.
It's like, what can you just keep talking about? It's like
I just like talking.
Oh, I was saying this before. Like, I just love people.
Yeah.
Love finding out about people. Love finding like why they do the job, what is their passions and all this. It's like, because I find people interesting.
Yeah.
If you don't find people interesting, this is probably not the career for you.
Yeah, like I've met coaches who go, I don't even like people. I'm like,
it's like the whole point is you work with people. It's like,
funny
no, but it's like and that was one of the great things about being one-to-one coaches. You're very well aware. It's like you just meet some fucking cool people. Like the shit you used to get. Like I used to be able to go to any Liverpool game.
Yeah.
Because the people I knew who had tickets, who used to want to sell it or things like that. It's like I went to so many events because the people I knew. Like Abs was very good for that.
Yeah.
And it's like that's why like I love this job. That's why like I'll always do something within this industry until I retire or sell my business or whatever it may be. Sell my business, like it's not really fucking millionaire business, but you know what I mean? It's like until I find another sort of avenue. Yeah, I find people very, very interesting. I like understanding why people do things.
If you think about it that way, there actually is no negative experience that you can have through your career.
No.
Like, I genuinely don't believe it. Like, even if you really hated that course you did, or, you know, you really hated that interaction that you had with said coach or said mentor or whatever it is, still learning from it. You're still going to take something from it. And if anything, it's moulding you.
You learn what you don't like.
Exactly.
Which
That's usually what you have to find out, isn't it?
Which is just as important. Just as what you said, more important. It's like, I've done some courses, right? And they were shit. Like, didn't learn anything, but you know what I did learn? How to teach.
Yeah.
There's one specific course I'm thinking of right now, and the instructor probably wasn't giving the best advice, but tell you something right now, I can remember everything he said, because he was so charismatic.
Yeah.
He was just so addictive to listen to, because he had such a good charisma. And it's like, okay, that's cool, I'm going to take that. You can always take something from something.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It's like, as long as I said, you're open-minded to it. It's like, you don't just sit there, like as soon as you start talking to it, you go, oh, he knows fuck all, or she knows fuck all, and then you turn off. It's like, no, pay attention.
Yeah.
They might just say one thing, and it's like, okay, that's a tool in my toolbox.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. I think even, like, you know me, I'm a big Stephen Bartlett fan.
Yeah.
I love, you like it as
I
well.
love him, yeah.
But the reason why I like his podcast so much is that I never know who's going to be on next.
Yeah.
And I'm taking gems from Peter Crouch.
Yeah.
Did anyone ever think that I was going to take some knowledge bombs from Peter Crouch?
I
No.
love that podcast. That's great.
Amazing. Like
Yeah.
that type of variety. Like even when I went to see Expert Empires, Nick James event, there was people there who were speaking who I genuinely don't know. The only one I knew was Stephen and Marie Folio a little bit, right? But it was the ones who were talking about YouTube and NFTs and things that I don't really have any interest in. I'm coming out of there going, wow, they present that really well. Wow, the thing they said about mentality, agree, understand it. And that's why sometimes you go for the head person, but it's the other people in the
100%,
background that
100%.
make you go, wow. Like that's what made the event so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like the thing about the Stephen Barlow thing as well is like he's a very good interviewer.
Oh yeah.
And it's like
It's like he's not there sometimes.
But you're going to get something from the guest.
Yeah.
Because he's going to ask a question because he's got some balls, right? Remember when Matt Hancock was on there?
I didn't watch that one because I don't F with politics at all, to be honest.
That's a Lucy Brabham thing, isn't it?
No, it's a me thing. I don't like
Lucy
it.
Brabham loves politics, doesn't she?
Oh.
She absolutely loves
Does she?
politics. Yeah. But she used to. Don't know if she still does now. Yeah, we used to. I used to love winding her up. I don't give a fuck about politics. I think they're all the same.
Yeah.
Like the Labour Conservatives, I think they're all just the same.
Sorry,
right?
guys. That's definitely cancelled us, that,
like,
isn't it?
they all just want money. They don't give a fuck.
Tories.
They don't give a fuck about people. They just care about themselves. That's what I think about politicians anyway. But yeah, we used to get like really like debated. But it's like when Matt Hancock was on there, he did not pull any punches. He asked some fucking very difficult questions.
Yeah.
That Matt did not want to answer. But the fucking tools on bloody celebrity.
It doesn't really answer questions anyway, do they?
No. Oh
they just
no,
deflect
mate.
them.
That was the worst. You only talk about like the worst thing about lockdown. That was the worst thing about fucking lockdown. It's like you getting asked questions and he didn't give you the fucking answer.
Because you don't have them now. That's the truth.
They don't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah.
It was like no comparison. They're fucking sitting there in the mansions down south. People are fucking off like down. What was the other one? One of them fucked off to Durham. Do you know what I mean? Because his wife had a fucking eye issue or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Just like, fuck you.
Honestly, Ali, I wouldn't know because anything to do with that is just censored off my social media. Like, I don't see any of it.
I won't watch the news now.
I haven't watched the news in...
Nah. So I haven't watched it probably a year. That's probably a lie. It's probably a bit on, but I haven't specifically watched it in probably about a year.
Yeah, I just don't see I think it's just a place of negativity.
Yeah,
and it's all shifted to whatever narrative that they want to push on you that day.
You only know what they want you only know what they want you to know.
Yeah, of course.
It's like they loads of topics on that though.
But yeah,
that's another chat.
But yeah, like it's true. Like you take little things and blips from everybody. And I think if it wasn't for like some of these like circumstances I've put myself in, like I'm not saying I've done a lot, but the fact that I can actually do more, it makes me know that, wow, I can actually grow as a person. And the problem really is that people don't get into those environments enough. That as well would be my main thing for new coaches. Like, get out there. Do not stay in your room. Do not think just working in that one gym is the only interaction you need, or that one personal trainer, is the only person you can talk to. Like, there's people now who I used to look up to when I first started personal training, asking me to go for coffees and stuff now. And I'm just like, what? Like, is this it?
I got asked to be in a podcast last week. The guy's in Hong Kong. And it's like, it's like, I looked at him thinking, fuck, I know that name. Didn't realise who it was. Like, he's had fucking top guys on his podcast. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing hiring a little scouser?
And this is your like warm up.
Yeah,
this one, yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But it's like, that's cool. But I said, it's like, get yourself out there.
Yeah.
It's like, don't be afraid. One, hire a coach. Doesn't have to be me, but it can be me. Sell.
Or me.
But it's like, it's just like, hire a coach. Like, get into the industry and hire a coach and understand how a coach works, and then go and hire another coach when you've done a good stint with that coach. Go and understand how that coach works, or hire a mentor.
Yeah.
Always have someone who you look above, because I'll always have someone. Like I was Carl, got Kuba, got Mark. I'll always have someone who's got that little bit of authority over me.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's always someone I can just drop a message.
Yeah.
Go, can I have your opinion on this? And I'm very fortunate in regards to like my circle, in regards to like, I've got loads of people I can ask shit to. Like Shane's the wizard when it comes to anything gut health or medical. Like, I don't go to doctors, I go to Shane.
I message Shane, to be fair.
Do you know what I mean? It's like Shane, but it's like I've got people who have got mechanics talk I want to go down, female health. I've got loads of people in my circles, but that's only for what you said before. It's like I spoke to loads of people.
Yeah.
I found out what loads of other people are passionate about.
Yeah.
It's like there's a girl over in the world called she's called like Empowered, she's called Emily Muir, like loves female health, like post-pregnancy, all this kind of thing. It's like, I've got any questions of one of my clients having a bit of an issue, one of my clients has a client with, it's like, I'll speak to her or I'll put them in contact with her.
Yeah.
Because
Literally.
and that's it. It's like, make your circle so cool.
That's the thing. I went to EIQ, the Level Up events,
Yeah.
and I ended up having a sit down talk about PCOS with Alan Flanagan.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I was just like, this is pretty fucking cool. Like, he did it as a favour to me because I was the first one to ask if he did this type of stuff with coaches, and it must have just given him the idea too. So he's like, I'll offer you one for free. And we just sat there for an hour having a chat, and he really broke down everything nutritionally, PCOS wise, and understanding, you know, carbohydrate types and meal timings a little bit more. And I was just like, if I wouldn't have been bold to just message that person and say, thanks for that, like, thanks for that talk, this wouldn't be happening right now. So you've got to think that way sometimes. Like, you're not asking to, you're not given to receive, but you do put yourself in them circumstances.
Of course, it's like DMs are not just to try and like get clients.
Yeah.
Reach out to like
Lead
other
gen.
coaches, like reach out to them, just like ask them for favors.
Yeah.
And ask them questions, because most people who are highly respected in this industry will talk about the shit because they love it.
Yeah.
It's like, I could easily drop James Sutton now. James Sutton, when it comes to mechanics, is fucking genius. Going, can you just explain this to me? And they'd either send me a voice note or send me a Loom video, or I might have to pay for a consultation if it's something really, really in depth. But it's like, you're willing to pay because you know what they're going to do is going to give you something that you might come with the issue further on down the line.
And that's where the niche comes in sometimes, isn't it? Like, that's where you do want to have those people who, you know, like for me, if it's anything training, anything mechanics, right, I'm going to ask you. But if it's anything like, you know, oh, okay, maybe it needs to be a little bit more centered around gut health, it's a shame. Do you know what I mean? And that's the benefits of having a circle where you can, you know, pick and choose who you want to like gain knowledge bombs from. Yeah.
Of course, yeah, because like, as you said, like people are passionate about certain things. But yeah, leave it there.
You want to give them the Instagram handle?
Yeah, mine's Ali_Team Premier Physique. No, it's Ali_Premier Physique, because I had to check before. My email address is dot and my Instagram's _. What's yours? Yours is mentoredbymaya, isn't it?
Yes, it's Maya. What? What have I just done there? I've just had a complete brain blockage then. It's Mentored by Maya on everything. So that's Instagram and TikTok. My TikTok's more funny. My Instagram's more serious. Are you going to get on TikTok or what?
Fuck no.
Come on, Ali.
No. I'm going to do YouTube next year.
I'm doing YouTube next year.
Yeah.
But, right, you want to post them on them platforms anyway. Do you get what I mean?
No, because it's like,
you don't have to touch it. Just leave it there.
I know, but it's like, it's one of these, and it's like, I've already got loads of shit that I need to do. It's like TikTok is just another thing that can just distract you for half an hour. No, because it's too easy to do that. I know the psychology behind TikTok. It's too easy. Like YouTube shorts, fucking nightmare. You catch yourself on YouTube shorts.
That's what it is.
I know, but it's like, you can catch yourself going down so many rabbit holes where you're watching shit that you never thought you'd watch in your life.
Do you know what? I actually watched a whole 3-minute long video of someone making like a lipstick in the middle of Asia. Like, they full on made a whole lipstick from like this plant. And I was just fascinated.
Yeah, no, it's like, it's brought fucking no voice. Like, anything.
Actually wasted my time.
It's like anything Dashan related, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
So it's anything, it's like, oh my God, that Dashan's wearing a hat.
Mine's sushi. You know, if they're making sushi.
Okay, wait, Dave, we'll end in a minute. Where's your favourite sushi place?
Ooh. It was one in the Philippines. So it's not like I can just bounce over.
Yeah, fucking like Liverpool, Manchester, like.
I don't know.
There's a place on there's one on, do you know what's one?
Yeah.
No, Broadening Road?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you know the Aldi is on Broadening Road? So you got like the Costa, got the Tesco.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Got the Aldi, yeah. There's one over the road from there.
It's a banging, yeah.
Boss. Went there for my birthday meal.
But what sushi though?
I don't know. I never know what I'm getting.
Really?
No, I've got a fucking clue. It's like, I don't like, what's the one with just raw fish on top of it, like just raw fish?
Nigiri?
Yeah,
is that what it is?
yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Don't like that. It's like, it's got to have some kind of like saltiness or something like that to it. Anything else, I'm fucking game.
Do you know what? When I used to be up in Scotland, in the Sainsbury's, they had a sushi bar, right? Sounds rank because it's Sainsbury's.
No.
Unbelievable.
No. Amsterdam, in the supermarkets, they had the fucking sushi thing. They also do know you can eat sushi, but it's really dangerous.
That's not dangerous.
Or you can eat sushi, it's very, very dangerous. I put on 3 kilos. Okay. me and China got the bill. 60 dishes.
What? Does it come as like a little two?
No. Like, don't get me wrong, like some of the dishes like rice. Like rice and like vegetables. Like she's obsessed with fucking sweet and sour chicken. So she's got like 4 sweet and sour chickens. Like she's a fat bitch deep down. Like
That's why she trains so hard.
Yeah. It's like she can eat. I'll give her that, right? But yeah, like 60 dishes. It was like, but like you've already paid for it. It's like make the most of it. Desserts. I'm not a dessert kind of guy, but
You're not a dessert guy?
no, I don't like desserts. It's not like I don't like desserts, but it's like if you give me like start and main or main dessert, start and main.
See, I'm a good main dessert person, me.
Oh,
If it's apple crumble or anything, I'm just falling to its knees.
Oh, see, like that's what I will admit. I'm like a bit of an anomaly. Like there's not many people like that who like starters. Like, I'm just not a big fan of it. Like I like a cookie.
Just cheeky one.
Yeah, but that's it. Don't really like. Don't get the fucking concept of a donut.
Right, Ali, there's nothing to not understand about a donut.
It's got a fucking circle in it, mate. It's like
it's just dough.
Yeah.
Have you had dumplings before?
Yeah, no, but it's just like I just don't get the concept of it. It's like meh. I'd rather have a muffin. I also don't get like the donuts that just got fucking full of shit. I used to eat them when I was with Becky Dean. Like, when she used to just make loads of shit when I used to live with her, right? And like, I'm so glad this definitely can't go on. I'm so glad I was taking insulin at the time because I was definitely getting diabetes. Because it's like, she used to just like make, because like she used to know when people prep, she used to like make these cookies and all this. It's like when we were living together, we weren't together by the way, we were just living together. When we were living together, it's like anything left over.
Yeah.
Spoon, me and her, watching the film.
Go for it.
Oh,
yeah.
mate, it was bad. But it was good at the same time.
See, that's all a bit of me. You know, them proper like deep dish cookies, like cookie dough with all the...
See, I can do that, but like in regards to like cakes or donuts, as I said before, it's like I don't get what the big appeal is of it.
To be fair, my mate hates anything sweet, or like she will not put sauce on anything.
Oh, that's weird.
I don't know where.
Who's your mate?
Maxine.
Maxine, you're fucking weird.
She hates sauce. Like if you put tomato ketchup or like mayo on stuff, she's like, ew, that's not normal.
Yeah.
Food just dry. But to be fair, she can cook like a friggin' boss, so she doesn't need sauce.
Okay, fair, but it's like there's nothing wrong with tomato sauce.
Yeah, it just depends on what though, innit?
Nah, that's nice. I'd have peanut butter on anything though.
Peanut butter?
On anything.
You know what? I make a good peanut butter curry, you know?
Oh, like a satay?
Like a chicken peanut butter curry with rice, yeah.
Make that next time we have a podcast.
We'll just all sit here and eat it and rate it out of 10.
You can just fucking toilet yourself.
Come down with me.
Sit in the corner there just eating it.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Perfect.